The moment I pulled my Rolls-Royce, Cullinan through the pristine gates of Willowbrook Gardens, I knew I was being watched. You know that feeling when every house seems to have eyes? The manicured lawns, the identical mailboxes, the perfect flower beds, everything screamed, "We have rules here." But nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. I'm Marcus. By the way, and at 26, I'd just closed the biggest deal of my life. My cryptocurrency startup had been acquired by a Fortune 500 company, and after years of living in a cramped apartment, I finally bought my dream home in this exclusive gated community. The Rolls-Royce? That was my celebration gift to myself. As I turned into the driveway of 847 Maple Court, I saw her in my peripheral vision. Karen Wellington, though. I didn't know her name, yet stood on her perfectly edged lawn like a sentinel. Mid-50s, platinum blonde bob that probably cost more than most people's rent, wearing a cream-colored blazer that screamed, "I speak to managers professionally." Before I could even turn off the engine, she was marching across the street with the determination of someone who'd appointed herself neighborhood sheriff. Her heels clicked against the asphalt like a countdown timer. Rolled down my window, putting on my most polite smile. "Good afternoon." She planted herself directly in front of my car, arms crossed, sunglasses reflecting my confused expression. "Excuse me, young man, but I think you're lost. This is a private, gated community. Actually, I'm not lost," I replied calmly. "I just bought this house. I'm Marcus Johnson, your new neighbor." Her laugh was sharp and dismissive. "That's impossible. The Hendersons sold to a successful entrepreneur," not she paused, her eyes scanning me from head to toe. "Someone like you." There it was. That phrase that makes your stomach drop because you know exactly what it means. "Someone like me?" I asked, keeping my voice level. "Young people," she said quickly, but her tone suggested that wasn't what she'd originally meant. "Young people don't drive $250,000 vehicles unless something suspicious is going on." I stepped out of the car, documents in hand. "Mrs. Karen Wellington, HOA president for 7 consecutive terms," she announced like it was a military rank. "And I'm calling the police. That car is either stolen or you're involved in something illegal. We don't tolerate criminal activity in Willowbrook Gardens." Before I could protest, she had her phone out, dialing 911 with theatrical urgency. "Yes, officer," she said loudly, making sure I could hear every word. "I need police at 847 Maple Court immediately. There's a suspicious individual with a stolen luxury vehicle. He's claiming to be a homeowner, but that's clearly impossible. Please hurry before he flees the scene." I leaned against my car, genuinely amazed. In my years of building my business, I'd faced skeptics, but this was next level. Other neighbors had started emerging from their houses, drawn by Karen's performance. "Karen," I said after she hung up, "I have all the documentation right here. House deed, car registration, insurance. Everything's legal and in my name." She waved her hand dismissively. "Fake documents are easy to obtain these days. My daughter works for the DMV, and she's told me all about sophisticated fraud schemes." That's when Mrs. Chen from next door walked over, elderly, kind-faced, carrying a plate of cookies. "Excuse me," she said gently, "but are you the young man who bought the Henderson place? They mentioned you were in technology." "Yes, ma'am, that's right," I replied gratefully. Karen whirled around. "Susan, don't be naive. Look at him. Look at that car. Does this make sense to you?" Mrs. Chen studied me for a moment, then looked at Karen with disapproval. "Karen, that's enough." The Hendersons were very impressed with this young man. They said he was polite, prompt with paperwork, and paid cash. "Cash?" Karen's voice rose an octave. "That proves it. Nobody legitimate deals in that much cash. It's obviously drug money or worse." 2 patrol cars pulled up just as Karen was really hitting her stride. She practically ran to the officers, pointing at me like I was an escaped convict. "Officers, thank goodness you're here," she panted dramatically. "I've detained this car thief. He's claiming to own that Rolls-Royce in the Henderson house, but I personally oversee all property transfers in this community." The first officer, tall with graying temples, approached me professionally. "Sir, we received a report about a stolen vehicle." "May I see your license and registration?" "Of course," I said, handing over my documents. "I'm Marcus Johnson. I just closed on this house yesterday and was moving some things in when I was accused of stealing my own car. The second officer, younger and more thorough, ran my information while Karen hovered behind them like an anxious prosecutor. He's using false identification, Karen insisted. Young black men don't drive cars like that unless they've stolen them or they're drug dealers. I'm protecting our community's safety and property values. The silence that followed was deafening. Even Karen seemed to realize. She'd said the quiet part out loud. The older officer's expression hardened. "Ma'am, what did you just say?" Karen backpedaled frantically. "I meant young people in general. Anyone his age. It's about age discrimination, not. I would never. I have black friends!" But it was too late. Mr. Peterson from across the street had been recording the entire encounter on his phone. "Officer, I've got the whole thing on video if you need it," he called out. The younger officer finished running my information. "Everything checks out clean," he reported to his partner. "Vehicles registered to him. Insurance current. No flags on the license. House deed shows transfer completed yesterday." That's when Karen made her fatal mistake. As the officers returned my documents, she grabbed the younger one's arm. "You're not doing your job!" she shrieked. "I'm telling you he's a criminal. I know because I can tell just by looking at him. People like him don't belong in neighborhoods like this." The older officer gently but firmly removed her hand from his partner's arm. "Ma'am, I need you to step back. Don't you dare touch me!" Karen screamed. "I'm calling my attorney. I'm calling the mayor. I'll have both your badges." Then she made the worst decision of her day. She shoved the officer. "Ma'am, you're under arrest," he said calmly, reaching for his handcuffs. "What?" Karen's voice cracked like a teenager's. "You can't arrest me! I'm the victim here! I was protecting the neighborhood!" As they read her Miranda rights, Karen's face cycled through shock, rage, and desperate pleading. "This is reverse racism!" she wailed as they guided her toward the patrol car. "I'm being persecuted for being white. I want to speak to your supervisor." The gathering crowd of neighbors watched in stunned silence as Karen was placed in the back of the cruiser, her perfectly styled hair now disheveled, her blazer wrinkled. "Officers," Mrs. Chen called out. "If you need character witnesses, most of us would be happy to speak on Marcus's behalf. Karen has been problematic for years," Mr. Peterson nodded. "She's harassed 3 other minority families out of the neighborhood with similar tactics. Maybe now something will finally be done." As the police cars drove away with Karen in custody, I stood in my driveway holding my keys, still processing what had just happened. My dream home purchase had turned into the neighborhood's biggest drama in years. 2 weeks later, I learned that Karen had been charged with filing a false police report, harassment and assault on a police officer. The HOA held an emergency meeting and voted, unanimously 42-0, to remove her from the presidency and ban her from all community activities. The cherry on top? Her real estate license was suspended, pending investigation after several clients came forward with similar stories of discriminatory behavior. Last month, I saw Karen at the grocery store. She was wearing a baseball cap pulled low, no makeup, looking nothing like the imperious HOA queen who'd tried to have me arrested. When she saw me, she abandoned her cart and practically sprinted for the exit. The neighborhood has been peaceful ever since. Mrs. Chen still brings me cookies. Mr. Peterson waves every morning, and my Rolls-Royce sits proudly in my driveway without causing any more drama. Sometimes karma doesn't just knock. It comes with handcuffs. If you enjoyed watching an HOA tyrant get exactly what she deserved, smash that like button and subscribe for more true stories, where justice prevails in the most unexpected ways.